Welcome back to my channel. Alright, today I'm going to be discussing the kills of 1981's Halloween 2, directed by Rick Rosenthal. For those of you that may not know, this movie starts off exactly where the first Halloween left off, with Michael disappearing into the night. Shortly after leaving the Doyle house, we see Michael walking through the back alleys of Haddonfield when he comes up on the home of Mr. and Mrs. Elrod. However, he doesn't kill them. All he does is steal a knife and scare Mrs. Elrod by leaving a little bit of his blood on her cutting board. But he does quickly put the knife to use with the Elrod's next-door neighbor, Alice Martin. Alice is stabbed in the chest by Michael, giving us our first kill of the movie. After killing Alice, Michael learns that Laurie was taken to the Haddonfield Memorial Hospital, so of course, that's where he goes. Now fast forward to the hospital. The security guard there goes to check out why the hospital's phone lines are down. Once he is at the location of the fuse box, he hears a noise and decides to check it out. He opens the supply closet door and finds nothing. He then checks another door, but when he shuts that door, Michael is behind it, killing him with the claw of a hammer. Now fast forward just a little bit and you will find our third and fourth kills of the movie. Bud, who is an EMT for the hospital, and Karen, who is one of the nurses at the hospital, sneak off for a little bit of fun in the hospital's therapy room hot tub. Once in the hot tub, there's just some of your typical kissing and whatnot, but what they don't know is Michael is outside the room turning the temperature of the hot tub up. Uncomfortable, Karen sends Bud to go turn the temperature down. As Bud is starting to adjust the temperature, Michael sneaks up behind him and kills him by strangling him with a cord. As Karen gets out of the hot tub due to the heat, Michael slowly comes into the therapy room with her and places his hand on her shoulder. Karen, thinking that it is Bud, kisses on his hand, and she eventually turns around and realizes that it is definitely not Bud. Michael then grabs her and holds her face under the scalding hot water, killing her by drowning her and burning a lot of the skin off of her face. Now later on, after Laurie is found unresponsive, Nurse Jill sends Nurse Janet to go get the head doctor, Dr. Mixter. As Janet walks in Dr. Mixter's office, she finds him dead, having been stabbed in the eye with a syringe. As Janet backs away toward the door, Michael comes out of the shadows and kills her by stabbing her in her temple with an air bubble from a syringe. Alright, our next kill comes when one of the other EMTs goes to look for the head nurse, Mrs. Alves. He eventually finds her dead on a hospital bed with all of her blood drained from a severed IV line. Shortly after this, Laurie realizes that Michael is now in the hospital, so she decides to leave her room, knowing that that will be the first place that Michael will look. As Laurie slowly makes her way down the hospital hallway, Nurse Jill finds her and urges that she return to her room. As Laurie turns around to acknowledge her, Michael comes out from behind the nurse and stabs her in the back with a scalpel while lifting her in the air, giving us our 8th kill of the movie. Now fast forward a short time later, we now have Laurie outside the hospital trying to find a vehicle to hide in. Once she sees Dr. Loomis, Nurse Marion from Smith's Grove, and a state marshal pull into the hospital, she slowly makes her way to the door. While doing that, Michael appears a few feet behind her, giving us a similar chase scene to the first Halloween. Once inside the hospital with Dr. Loomis, Nurse Marion, and the state marshal, Michael slowly charges his way through the glass door. He then drops to the floor after being shot 5 times by Dr. Loomis. After a couple minutes, the marshal goes to check out the body. Just after Dr. Loomis yells at him to get away from Michael, Michael then sits up, grabs the officer, and then proceeds to kill him by slitting his throat with a scalpel and giving us our final kill of the movie. Alright guys, that is a total of 9 kills for 1981's Halloween 2. For my next video, I will be covering 1988's Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers, due to the fact that Halloween 3 does not involve Michael Myers whatsoever. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe. Until next time, this is the Michael Myers 1978, signing out.